So I think I've come to some form of conclusion as to how I want the settings to work. Um, I've been thinking a lot about how to present the settings to the user and how to represent the water physics scene API in a way where handling the settings works in a nice way. I finally settled on an API that I'm pretty comfortable with. It's not perfect, but no API ever is, so it has the necessary trade-offs to do something to allow users to do basically whatever they want with some limitations. Now, how do I represent the settings to the user? I was thinking a lot about this, about the requirements, and I basically boiled them down to I want to be able to set specific settings for specific components on an actor. So I want to be able to have multiple components or multiple settings which kind of merge together to produce a final setting for any given component. So what I've done is on the water physics settings component, I have added this struct of the water physics settings, and above it I've started making some custom UI which allows you to kind of select which components these settings will apply to. So this UI isn't finished yet, it's more of a proof of concept, but I think this could be really good because it does allow users to specify which components they want these settings to apply to. And the idea is that you could potentially make this into an array. So you could specify multiple different component settings, and you could have two different settings which apply to one component, where one overrides the other or incorporates some parts of the other, basically mimicking the post-processing stack in Unreal, which I think is implemented in a really nice way, which allows the user to set really kind of almost on a hierarchical way of setting settings. That's a nice word, setting settings. So I really like that. So I'm basically aping this way of changing properties. The one thing I don't really like is how Unreal handles structs in arrays. The kind of resetting default stuff kind of breaks a bit. So I might look into making some custom UI for this, or maybe just allowing you to make multiple components. So you could, for example, have one component which applies settings for your hull, and then the other component which applies settings for your rudder. This is a bit problematic because you can't really order them here, but that could be solved by doing some form of index field. It's not elegant, but this might be one of those features where most people really won't use it. So it could be okay for like advanced users to have, but I think most people don't really care that much. So having multiple components might be good enough.